Hi everyone, today we're looking at the classic Cameo cinema in Leicester. It was situated at number 40 High Street and it just had one screen, no balcony, but it did enjoy 780 seats. So let's get going. Located in the city centre, the Electric Theatre was opened in August 1910. Designed by the Birmingham-based architectural firm Ward and Ball, for the London and Provincial Theatres Limited chain. It had an elaborately decorated facade which had the name Electric Theatre in the stonework above the entrance, and above that was a tiled mansard roof dome surmounted by a large ball. The auditorium ran to the right of the entrance and parallel to the High Street, and had a series of decorative swags along its side wall. Inside the auditorium, all seating, as we said, was on a single level. The barrel ceiling had a series of beams across which were richly decorated with plaster fruits. The cinema was all electric, although the designers had the foresight to also install backup gas lighting too, just in case. In these early days, tea trays were dispensed throughout the auditorium by boys in maroon outfits with brass buttons and pillbox hats, a scene more fitting of a posh hotel. In 1915 it was renamed Imperial Playhouse. Then by 1922 it had been renamed again Arcadia Cinema, and in the early 1940s all seating was removed and it became a roller skating rink and an amusement arcade. Fortunes changed again when in 1949 it was acquired by Clavering and Rose of London. It was tastefully redecorated in pastel shades. A new raised floor was installed along with a small stage. New auditorium lighting, 469 what's described as comfortable seats and new carpets. Attractive chandeliers were installed in the foyer and some eye-catching neon running the length of the auditorium on the outer facade along the High Street. It opened on Wednesday, October the 19th, 1949, as the Cameo News Theatre. Bowles and Son of Leicester were the contractors, with Troughton and Young handling the electrical installations. From 1957 it was known as the Cameo Theatre and specialised in screening B films in double bills, as well as European dubbed films. It was part of the Clavering and Rose chain of Cameo theatres, and in the mid-1960s they in turn were taken over by the Classic Cinemas chain, and the Cameo Theatre was renamed Classic Cameo Cinema. In October 1969, Leicester Council made a ruling that tickets for late night shows in Leicester cinemas had to be sold by 9 p.m. on the night of the show to prevent queuing in the street at such a busy time, being 11 p.m. In February 1970, with the ABC Miners Saturday Club shows being curtailed, the Classic Cameo filled the gap by launching their own Saturday Club for Kids. And in the run-up to Christmas, the Cameo staged a special annual Christmas show for kids from local children's homes. Up to 300 children enjoyed films and received free sweets and comics supplied by local businesses. In July 1971, there was an outcry when the council proposed a new road that would mean the destruction of the Cameo, as the road would plough straight through the auditorium. That same year, projectionist John Calvert won the prize for the best kept projection room of any cinema in the Classic chain, and there were 184 of them. In 1972, Classic Cinemas brought in a three-pronged new admission scheme as a tryout just in Leicester. 1 day a week was bargain day, with admission just 20p for adults, with seniors and children admitted at the normal concession price all day. Admission for Saturday Club was halved from 7.5p to just 3p, advertised as a leave 'em while you shop service. Every Sunday afternoon at 2:30, classic family films were shown with an admission of just 15p for anybody. In 1974, the Cameo made the press because posters for Enter the Dragon, the Bruce Lee film, were stolen from the frames outside the cinema. But they weren't so bad off. In the town of Wigston, the whole film was stolen from the Magna Cinema. Now, the Cameo was closed in 1976, but the owners, the City Council, received several offers to lease the building. One to reopen it as a cinema for the showing of Asian films. Other potentials included a nightclub and a disco. By October 1978, it was operating as a Cascade Bingo Club. It became the classic amusement arcade until 1988, when it closed and was leased out as a computer store until 1991. The building stood empty until 1994, when the auditorium was duly demolished to make way for a new road scheme. But the original ornate entrance was retained. A Habitat furnishing store was built on the site in 1995, and this was closed in May 2010. After that, it was an Amplifon hearing centre. Let's take a look now at the Grand Electric Palace at 18 Silver Street in Leicester. The 500-seat Midland Electric Theatre was opened on the 30th of July 1910 by Midland Electric Theatres Limited, and it was the first purpose-built cinema to open in Leicester following the introduction of the 1909 Cinematograph Act. The Cameo was to open just a few weeks later. In 1913, the balcony was enlarged and the auditorium was extended into adjacent premises, with the seating capacity increased to 1,000. By 1925, it had been renamed the Grand Electric Palace and was managed by Edward W. Wallace for Midland Electric Cinemas Limited. It was closed in 1930 and was still at that time a silent cinema. Well, that's it for this one. Almost two for the price of one there. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. That always helps, of course. There's more videos coming soon. Until then, be good to each other and I'll see you soon. Ta-da.